Do you know how to sell hundreds of thousands of dollars of digital download products through an online storefront? Do you want to know? That's what I'll be covering in today's video. Hey everyone, I'm Christina Scalera and I'm the founder of the DCommerce model of business. This is definitely something that is a great alternative to creating an online course or a high ticket service or coaching program like a mastermind or group coaching. And it's also a great alternative for those of you who have maybe tried to get into different e-commerce models and it hasn't worked out so well. DCommerce is the practice of selling digital download products through an online storefront. This is different than selling courses because courses typically have a launch period, an open and close enrollment, and they also are usually only available for a certain amount of time. Courses also typically teach your competition how to do exactly what you do, whereas a digital download product is simply a result and not an entire method or system that teaches someone how to do what you know. DCommerce is also a lot more practical and accessible than any kind of service or done for you offering or online coaching or high ticket program. And the reason for that is because typically DCommerce products are in the range of $50 to $500 instead of these higher ticket offerings that you may have considered, which are typically at least $1,000 to $3,000 starting. And finally, DCommerce is definitely not e-commerce with an E as in electronic because it is something unique and different in its own way. There's a lot of things that overlap between DCommerce and e-commerce, but the biggest difference is that DCommerce products, digital products, don't need to be fulfilled. They're automatically fulfilled by your store, whether that's on Squarespace or Shopify or some other processor, and you don't have to mail anything out. You create the product once and it can sell as many times as you would like to sell it to as many customers as you are called to serve. How do I know all this? Well, I'm the founder of The Contract Shop, which is a legal and information template site and shop that is based on the premise of selling digital download products through my online storefront, like I just said, called The Contract Shop. People go there, they find the product that they need for their business, and they purchase it. There's no launching, there's no open close cart enrollment. People simply find what they need and purchase it, just like you would go to Target online and pick up some of the things that you are missing in your household, some of the things that you've run out of, you would check out, and then in the e-commerce model, which Target uses, those products would land on your doorstep in a few days. In the DCommerce model, the delivery is immediate and it goes right there to their email and is sometimes delivered right there on the checkout page. I discovered this model of business in 2015 after I found that I really wanted to help people, but I couldn't leverage my time in a way that was cost effective for them, AKA I was too expensive. And I also wanted to help people in a way that gave them an immediate result. I actually tried a Contracts 101 course and I got about halfway through building it before I realized this is the dumbest thing ever. Because who wants to watch a course and spend all weekend learning about contracts? Like, that is so boring and gross. I don't even want to do that. That sounds terrible. Instead of spending an entire weekend watching this course and coming up with your own contract from this course, what if I just gave you a template and you were able to simply and easily fill it out in 10 minutes, copy and paste it from your Google Doc or Word or whatever you fix it up in, and send it off to a client? Because that's what you really want. Most people aren't sitting there getting these clients that they weren't expecting and then trying to learn all about contracts. They want to book that client that day and then and there. So they need the contract right away. And so that's where I got the idea to sell templates, but not just sell templates, but also sell them through a digital storefront to make it even more accessible and easy for those buyers to get that template very quickly. Other people had been selling legal templates online. Obviously, there's some big box legal sites out there, but none of them sold it through an online storefront. Most people required a membership or some other kind of gatekeeping that was just really annoying for people. And that's when I discovered that DCommerce is truly the way to scale and grow a business. So up until that point, I had only been a service provider. I had had a career in the legal field, and then I started my own law firm doing trademarks and working on like licensing and different kinds of just client contracts and things like that. But what really kickstarted my online career was this DCommerce store, just like I'm hoping to do for you too today. And I'm so glad you're here because I can tell you that there's no one else out there like me. It took me so long to figure out what high ticket salespeople were doing for online coaching programs and masterminds versus e-commerce shops versus online course sellers. And honestly, to create a successful DCommerce store, I had to borrow from each of these three online business models in order to find something that fit and made my shop what it is now today with over 7,000 customers. Because there was no blueprint until I came along for this DCommerce model. Everybody can teach you about e-commerce. There's lots of things out there that teach you about high ticket coaching and how to get clients. There's also lots of things out there that teach you how to create an online course, both free and paid options. And while those are three wonderful business models, they weren't my favorite. I want something truly passive. I want something that brings in money every single day, even when I'm not on client calls or like trying to book new clients, or something that just lets me wake up when I want. E-commerce wouldn't let me do that. I'd have to drop ship something and deal with, oh, my package got lost in the mail and all this other stuff. Like I just didn't want to deal with any of that. And so digital download products in the storefront, this DCommerce model was really the way to go for me. I really liked it above online courses too. So I do sell some online courses, especially here in this brand, but that's after almost 6 years of doing this. So it's not like I just jumped in and turned my services into a course, because I think that's where a lot of people get really upset when they learn that it's just their competition or future competition buying those courses. Like, hello, who did you think was gonna buy that? But because I'm so established, I feel really good offering that. I feel like I'm in a really good mental space to help other people, not just because like I'm ready for the competition if that moves in, but I'm also really ready to help people in this new way, especially in the eve or the wake of what's happened in 2020. People need a different way to make money, and they need to do it online. They need to be passive. They need to be able to work on their schedule when, the kids are sleeping and the husband isn't going to bother them, or the spouse isn't going to be upset that they're, working or whatever. Like, you need to be able to work on your own schedule. And I love it because the only model of business that doesn't create competition, other than you'll be really successful, people will copy you. Fine, whatever. That happens to us every day. We just ignore it. But not like online courses. So DCommerce is really the only business model that doesn't teach your competition how to directly do what you're doing. It doesn't require you to constantly have sales calls like high ticket programs and masterminds and any kind of coaching. And it also doesn't require any physical fulfillment of the purchase that people are making through your online store, which means that you can go and enjoy a nice day with your family, or if you're me, you can just sleep in and watch Bridgerton all day, like whatever. So I really love it as a business model. It's worked so well for me. It's worked well for our clients. And now I'm excited that it could possibly work well for you as you're watching this video. If you want to hear more about my origin story, how the contract shop, my DCommerce store started, we'll link to some podcasts below this video to make sure that you can catch up on that. If you are interested in learning how to sell more in your DCommerce shop or in starting a DCommerce shop, you'll definitely want to visit my website. It's just my name, ChristinaScalera.com, and we'll link to it below the video. We've got some awesome resources for those of you who are just starting out and you can't pay for anything yet, aka free. And we also have some awesome resources for those of you who are a little more advanced and eager to get into the behind the scenes of my business, including a course that takes you through the 8-step system that I use to drive over $1,200 of sales every single day to my DCommerce store. And this is something that has also allowed me not to freak out about Facebook ads, not to worry about algorithm changes, because this 8-step system that I use is not dependent on any one thing to drive traffic to my store. It's actually an 8-step way that we're driving traffic every day. It's really unique. Like I said, there's no one else out there teaching this stuff because I had to put this all together myself. I had to borrow from each of these 3 industries I mentioned earlier in order to create this DCommerce model of selling. So if you're interested, we have lots of resources for you, or you can just subscribe and like this video and we'll send you more updates as this channel gets more and more videos on it. Thanks for being here. Bye everyone.